don't play. What's up, though?
Man, things is good. Things is good. Let me know how's life with y'all right now.
I'm good. I've been in a good space. I've been in a real good space.
Perfect space for this new season?
Nah, the new season joint kind of got me like congested. Like like the seasons change always got me like super like tired.
You can't be that during COVID.
I'm telling you. I was in food line the other day trying to hold back a sneeze. It's
COVID, like, it's a lot of it is asymptomatic. So
yeah.
You don't know if somebody got it or not.
I mean, now with vaccines, we do have new guidelines. You can go out in large crowds. You don't necessarily have to wear a mask in small crowds.
I'm wearing a mask forever.
I almost want to say that card that you get for getting vaccinated now is your new Social Security card.
I don't know.
There's gonna be a lot of things.
I don't even want to talk about vaccines, bro.
Yeah, he's so upset.
Are you?
He keeping
well, that's not.
over.
Yeah, like
me as well.
No,
it's like literally, I'm on the list and they're just not calling us.
I didn't even get the email. Like,
yeah, that's bad. I got the email, but I didn't get the follow-up call. They'll call you like basically come in now at 1 o'clock or come in whenever. From what I understand, I haven't gotten the call yet.
Yeah. Regardless, I'm going to be masked. Like, I like the discretion of being able to. Like
I don't.
I do. I don't. Even though people may know it's me or I may know it's someone, I still get the benefit of the doubt. I didn't recognize you because of the mask. Like I get to use that because I suck at small talk. Like I hate small talk. I hate stopping to talk to people.
I've learned that's a skill. The art of small talk.
Either you need my help or we're talking about something. Like that small talk stuff. I'm not good at it.
See, I like expressions. I like being able to know if I'm walking up to you, you either like cheesing or you happy or you're not, and then that lets me know where the conversation is gonna go. Like if I can only see your eyes squint just a little bit, I don't know if you really digging this conversation or not.
Like that.
Like
real big on body language.
Yeah.
So forget the spring season. How about this new season of TOL though?
Yeah,
how about that?
Season of TOL.
Where we at? Season 4.
This is season 4.
Season 4.
Some years have gone by with y'all, my brothers.
Man.
That's been good though.
Yeah,
right?
It really has.
True definition of it's a marathon.
Yeah, it is.
I really think especially with the highs and lows we've had, we've had a bunch of lows. Now I think it's time to swing it back upwards. And let's put the work in to get where we need to go. But man, appreciate y'all rocking with us for
some time
for some time and going through from
radio,
from radio, from just a podcast platform to live Facebook to even our quarantine files. Right when quarantine hit,
that was it.
We got some stuff we're gonna be able to drop.
I was doing that in the car. I remember that.
Quarantine files when we were. X did not like not being in the same space. Quarantine hit the next day. Y'all still trying to meet though? Y'all ain't trying to meet? X, they just shut the world down.
But I think I think it's something about me that I look at stuff like that and I'm like, I'm not gonna walk in fear. I'm not gonna let this thing control me to where I alter my whole life and just get shut in and closed in just because they're saying something is out there.
I get it. It was zombies out there. Like I'm walking. It was just like it was like too soon. Like it was like
that's the key. It's too soon.
It hit. And then the next week, but no. It's been. And I think that's just a part of our story. Thinking Out Loud we've gone up and down. And that's some stuff we're going to be able to talk about throughout this season. I hope. I'm looking forward to kind of thinking out loud even more. We've all in this is our first start of a season where we're all entrepreneurs. We're all doing our thing. So I think this is going to bring a different energy this season just with just where we are in our lives.
I like that. And let's start it off on a positive note. Last month, was Black History Month. This month we're celebrating.
This month is Black History Month too.
I agree. I don't disagree with that at all. We're gonna just keep it going every year, every month, every season, every week. But we are specifically celebrating women this month.
Most definitely.
How do y'all feel
about
about
that? To the women. Oh man, that's how I feel about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, clap it up for the women.
It's a long clap.
It is. They deserve a long clap. Come on, brother.
We all raised by women. We come from women.
Yeah.
I think it's a I'll be honest. This is probably my first time ever really like acknowledging that it's Women's History Month.
Okay.
I did not know. I did not really know that it was International Women's Day. I think you hear about it, but I think so much is on. I think this last year we got so tuned into social media that we're aware of much more stuff.
Right.
So I saw it on Instagram. You know what I'm saying, and I was reminded by somebody to like, hey, look, it's my day. Like, it's like, all right, y'all got a lot of days.
This is the one.
This is the one. They got a couple more days than us.
But I knew about International Women's Day. I did know that, but you know, to see the Women's History Month, I love it, and I've loved the energy so far. I've seen all the different posts and just, you know, to not only come from, you know, Kamala Harris being a first Black woman president, and now we in Women's History Month. I just think it's pretty dope. Man.
Yeah. Who have been some of the most significant women in y'all's lives?
Mom.
Gotta be number one.
Grandma.
Gotta be.
Aunties.
Yeah. I think my grandmother number one. You know, 100%. My grandma.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
Okay. All the women at church.
Yeah.
Shout out, definitely. Grandma.
Teachers. I've had some phenomenal women teachers who have. I'll never forget my third grade Miss Minnick. I'll never forget her. She. You know, that's when I was going through my struggles of I was still third grade stuttering and having to go to all those classes. And she always made me feel like a superhero. I remember when I would have to get, the speech teacher would come get me in the middle of the class, which I don't understand why they had to come get me. Like everybody knew I was going to speech in a moment. I hated it. Why couldn't I just get up and walk out like I was going to the bathroom or something? Right? She had to come, come on. So I just remember my third grade teacher. Stop. It was. I just remember my third grade teacher.
I want to go to speech.
Man, I remember my third grade teacher, she would protect me so much. Like, she would tell them, stop laughing. She would say, Daniel's going to talk better than all of us one day. Y'all should hope y'all would go to. And I just remember her taking all of that energy and flipping it around. So I would walk out. But then, you know, I still went to speech class. I was like 6th grade. It was bad. I had a really bad stuttering issue.
Besides your mom and your grandmother and immediate family, is the most influential woman white or Black in your life?
Wow. The most.
It's honestly nothing to think about. I'm just honestly thinking who are the most influential white women in my life.
What?
He said, are Black women or white women more?
I mean, I heard the question, but you didn't change the question.
I did because honestly, I'm trying to think who are some white. I'm trying to think of a white influential woman in my life, and that's honest like. On a connection level, like someone I went to.
Are you that connected with? Yeah.
Right, and I honestly can't think of a. Not saying that I haven't been influenced by any.
So the answer is Black.
Gotta be, because I can't honestly think of a white woman that was like took me under her wing and was like, Douglas, you're special, and Douglas, we're going to do you. Honestly, I can't think of anyone.
Yeah.
But Miss Parker, oh, rest in peace, Miss Parker. I can think of her instantly. You know, from Patrick Henry, strong Black woman. Did not play, would snatch me up in the hallway and put me in her office and shoo me out. You hear me?
Yeah.
But that's what I needed back then, you know?
Yeah.
I just asked it, just to see. But I definitely.
I think the most influential, it's hard to say the most. I had ones who were influential at certain times. You know, man was the most influential person in my life, my football coach. So I think it was time. So I remember in high school, it was a white lady. Shout out to Mrs. Lane. She,
you remember all your
I do. I really.
Miss Lane, Miss Thomas,
I remember
Miss Parker, Miss Johnson.
I remember who really had an impact on my life. Like I really strongly take every piece of who had a huge impact on my life, because I knew I wasn't supposed to be where I felt like I wasn't supposed to be where I was if it wasn't for this person. So Miss Lane, when I was in high school, I didn't think I was going to be able to go to college. Like, I didn't know nothing. Like, literally, when I tell y'all, I knew nothing about what college was. Like, I had nobody in my immediate family had been. So, Miss Lane would take me into her office, and she would just show me different colleges, talk about different colleges. She would pull me out of class just randomly. Hey, have you looked at this college? And she helped me fill out all my college applications, everything. Like, I had no idea what college was, so she was a huge point. And then this, just as an adult, it was two black ladies, Shantae and Renee. When I lived in Atlanta, they
Shantae and Renee.
Shout
out to Shantae and Renee on this Black Women's Month.
And Renee, man, you guys, and they know how much I care about them. I moved to Atlanta, and I told y'all this plenty of times. Atlanta was
a different Danny.
Yeah, it was different. So, and they saw that, and I remember them, slow down, boy. Like you're doing too much. Like slow down. And I remember I got to the point where I just, right when in the mental health field, like insurance changed, Medicaid stuff hit, and all this stuff, and I was essentially homeless. Like I was living in my car because I got evicted from my apartment, and I just remember them. What bills do you have? For like 4 months, they carried it. I'm probably putting too much of their business out, but it's been long enough now. But they just carried, and they would pray over me, invite me to church, and they were just those women away from home in this new foreign place who took me on their wing, and they saw something and was like, "Dave, we got you." And they're business owners, and that's the first time I had seen, black women own a business to that level. Like they weren't just like, business, like they multi-million-dollar business in Atlanta, and they took me on the wing, so it was cool.
I think I now know, I think I now really see, I think 30 allowed, no, not 30, but I think now walking into myself and being more comfortable with myself and knowing what I want, being able to say, I see how you need a woman by your side. Like you really do need a woman by your side. I think any great person, great man, is standing beside a very strong woman.
Most definitely.
Because that person can see everything that you can't see. Fills in all the holes. Is going to tell you. Is going to make sure that the risk, watching out for the risk. I think that woman thing is this month really. Well, I'll say the International Women's Day the other day really hit different. I FaceTimed like all the important women in my life, and just to see that like all of them meshing together, like just clicking. It was a synergy. Like it didn't even have to be a conversation. It was just all smiles and laughter. And it's like, darn, I'm the only man that's in this conversation, but they all protect me. Like they all protect me. That to me, there's nothing more special than knowing that somebody's got you where you don't got you.
Right.
So I mean, shout out to all the mothers, the aunties, the
wives,
your sisters,
shout out to the wives. And I don't want to miss the point because you talked about the white and the black women. Like I got white aunts in my family. Like I have, my uncles married white women, and they have been influential on my life too. And I just remember, those would be the aunts who would come pick me up because my grandmother was so much older in age and wouldn't let me do all the cool stuff. My white aunts would step in and pick me up and take me places and kind of intervene when my grandma was quote unquote being a little bit too harsh. Like, so I had a very diverse women, diverse women in my life, and growing up where I grew up, it was predominantly white, and I am thankful for the white women in my family also.
That's what's up.
Yeah, that's definitely what's up.
My
side is.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say my side is the opposite, black.
And
it's honestly, it takes right now for me to realize that, because that's an amazing thing just to have been submerged in just so much culturalness and just blackness and just that's why I'm so prideful now.
I think you was probably in emerged in different cultures too, because black people have different cultures.
Absolutely.
Every black family.
I'll say
the same.
Moved to Germany. Germany was very diverse. However, I still found myself being around the African Americans and Hispanics over there in that area. That was just the bond that my mother made with the people over there, and then just the friendships I made. Tennessee was segregated at one point, but we still ended up in the black neighborhood. Literally, our street was like protected by blacks because we had some incidents actually where it just got racial, and then just like all the black parents came out and just like protected any black kids that was in the area. It doesn't matter if it was theirs or not. And it just goes on like that. I've just always somehow ended up going towards the black, even at PH. It's just PH is segregated. I love PH though. Shout out to PH. But it was like all the black kids knew each other, and the white kids were cool. I couldn't find that connection with them, so I found myself still ending up just covered in blackness, and then went to HBCU. Yeah, still black. Just shout out to my black women. They've always been around. They've always covered me.
But it's so crazy how once you do find your wife, and once you do, it's like technically she becomes your most influential woman in your life, because she I wouldn't say takes over that role, but she becomes that person in your life. In the Bible says you're supposed to leave your mom, and your wife's supposed to become that person. So just shout out to the wives who have taken on us black men and things of that nature. I appreciate you. Shout out to my wife for being an amazing woman. Like I say it all the time, and I would not stop saying that she's the reason I'm here right now. She took that broken Daniel and started to be a part of the process of putting them back together. So shout out to
women are amazing.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the amazing women who did not go to Atlanta this weekend.
Wow.
I said it. I'm proud of y'all. Y'all fought temptation.
You about to get drugged.
I said what I said. I said what I said.
Why can't they go to the
It was a little bit out of hand.
Sold out shows back to back.
I ain't seen not one match. I saw.
Thank you.
I saw.
COVID was over there.
COVID was over.
I saw people sleeping in a U-Haul.
So they ran out of rentals, and so people started renting
U-Hauls.
So I could be. What was it?
All-Star Weekend.
No. Yeah.
All-Star Weekend.
I didn't even know
it was one day on Sunday. People packed that out from Thursday night to Sunday night.
Yeah.
They still down there.
They still there. You see some people. I saw somebody had a GoFundMe for Help Me Get Home, but made $2,000.
But
hey, yeah.
Well, he's not gonna get it deposited in his account for another week.
I really need to chime in on that real quick. I really saw people really going crazy on GoFundMe to get back home. And people was giving money for that.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
That's but you gotta remember, like, people have been cooped up for a long time.
This is true.
I get it, but man.
Go to the next
part. So how we started talking about relationships where we talking about wives and potentially having wives. How important was that influential woman? And I'm going to say that it could definitely be a mom. How important is that woman on who you decide to be with, or how you view that person that you planning to be with?
I see you looking at
Why are you looking at
it? All right, I'll speak on it. I had a conversation with X not too long ago about this when we were talking about how I've never actually introduced a woman to my mother. Like, this is someone, I'm bringing this woman, this girl home, this woman, I forgot what the words you're not allowed to say now.
I was saying, look, I was trying to remember where he was going.
You can't say female, right?
No, you can say female, but
say what you want to say. I'm trying to remember.
Don't say friend.
Yeah, so
you can't bring them. Well, I don't know about that one.
Say that.
Can't bring ladies.
Her.
I can.
There you go.
Can't say her.
I don't know what to say.
I can't bring her.
I have a girlfriend.
Yeah, your girlfriend.
No, I don't. Jesus Christ. I know what I'm saying. Look, I haven't brought a girlfriend.
Wait a minute.
No.
So you're not claiming her?
Douglas does not have a girlfriend. Let me get in the camera. Douglas does not have a girlfriend.
No.
Just trying to get my words right. I have not brought a woman to meet my mother as like, this is someone that I'm trying to have my lifetime with. Because I feel like when I do introduce my mother to someone, she's going to know how serious it is. Because I haven't brought anyone around like that.
But you don't think your mother has a discerning
Did you go to prom with
spirit to be like?
I'll say since last time I introduced someone to my mom was maybe I introduced someone to my grandparents like high school and stuff. Since college has started
Does
and all
your
that.
mom ever question you if you like
She
girls?
talks about it all the time. Not like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, you feel, he took it there. You feel what I'm saying? Jesus Christ. Not like that. It's just, I don't know. Be moving around.
I feel you.
She just moved back to Virginia a couple years ago. It just hasn't had that situation.
Therapist coming out.
I know.
That means something though.
Like, what does it mean?
No, I'm asking you, like I'm saying, it has, like, so either you don't feel like that person is worthy of meeting your mom.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
You haven't found the person that's
exactly
worthy enough.
Because I was going to say, or the flip side is you don't think your mom is going to approve.
I haven't even thought about that before.
It's similar, but it's different.
I haven't thought about that before. That's not a fear of mine.
Okay.
Yeah, her not approving.
Is it?
Look, I was gonna say I almost got in trouble for saying something.
What's the question again?
So he doesn't think someone's worthy to meet his mom.
No, what's the question?
How influential is the woman in your life or your mom into who you choose to be in a relationship with?
And I was saying she's very influential because I haven't brought anyone.
You haven't brought that exactly.
Yeah, I feel the same thing. I feel like that depends on your relationship with your mom too, and what she has instilled in you to look for in a woman. Because usually, 9 times out of 10, I feel like if you're raised by a single mom, you looking for the same things that your mom raised you with. Like, okay, my mama cooked all the time. I want a woman that can cook. My mama, made me clean up my room and every morning, You need to be clean. So I feel like it's important. You just need to make sure that you're not going into the relationship with like, well, my mama said you gotta do this, or my mama said you gotta do this. Be able to learn your own expectations.
Yeah.
But while you go into it, so that it's you presenting and not your mother presenting.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's important though. I do think it's important. I don't think it's. It's funny because I was just having this conversation about expectations and should you go into the relationship with your partner with expectations or no expectations? And I said it's the same thing as saying, hey, what are your non-negotiables? Your non-negotiables set your expectations. Me saying I don't allow this is saying what my standard is. Okay. So I mean, I think it depends on the relationship you have with your mother and what she's instilled you to look for in a woman. My mom has always told me, make sure you respect a woman, like the utmost respect. Don't you ever put your hands on a woman. Like, make sure don't. If y'all get to arguing and stuff like that, you feel like you about to, you closing your fist up, walk out. Like, so I think those qualities are always in the back of my mind. And then when I'm looking for, or if I'm, speaking to a woman, I give her the utmost respect as I would my mother. Yeah. Or my grandmother, or any woman that's raised me or been around me or instilled those qualities in me.
Yeah. So I'm a little bit different.
I was about to ask a question. Yeah. So I hear you say like what you seen growing up.
Right.
What have you seen the opposite?
What if you seen the opposite? Yeah. That's what I said. I think that it goes back on.
That's what I was about to go to.
Yeah, it goes back on like if you haven't seen that, then you're faced with what society has raised you with, and whatever society has.
What you've drawn
you might have naturally. If you're raised without a mother, you get to 9th grade, you're going to start become interested in women. You're gonna feed off of what your friends do. You're gonna feed off of like what you see a male teacher do or tells you. You might feed off of what you texting your boys. You see how they act with women. Yep. Oh no, I told her to put her. You know what I'm saying? To sit down. Oh, now I'm gonna try. You start thinking. Right? You start thinking like, oh, I'm gonna try the same joint. My mama ain't never told me not to say this, so I'm gonna try this. Oh, he messing with a whole bunch of girls, like, and it's cool. Let me try that too. Like, if that provides me validation and affirmation for myself because I don't have a mother to tell me, bro, this ain't it, then that's what I'm gonna do until I get around people that start to shape me the way I'm supposed to be shaped.
Yeah. So it's every bit. It was every bit of trial and error for me, because my mother was in prison. So I just remember. I remember not having that experience. So early on, what shaped my idea of a woman was church, right? So how I saw this church woman and how I saw this individual. And then as I got older, it was, like she still had it's crazy how she physically wasn't there, but she had the most influence on my relationships, because I remember myself just trying to fill this void. I remember just a woman's attention was amazing to me. So anytime, and I'm not ashamed to say it, I remember especially going through college, anytime a lady or girl, whoever I was talking to at the time, showed any type of motherly love, I guess so to speak, any type of cooking, cleaning, any of that stuff, I remember I used to get attached really quick, because I never knew what that was like as a growing boy, right? So she had a lot of influence on me. So then it went into the trial and error. I remember going through a phase where I see these dudes, like how these dudes be assholes to these girls, and they still be getting attention. So I remember I went through that phase of trying to be that guy. Yep. And then I remember going through the phase of I'm just gonna talk to a bunch of women that he getting that, or I'm gonna go out to clubs because that looks like he's getting all that attention. And I just remember all of this trial and error of trying to figure it out until, and this is the guys on the truth, I'm not being cliche, until I met, and other girls I talked to saw it, but I had the wall up. I'm not about to let this out. Like this is who I am. Until like I met my wife at the time, and that's how I knew she was my wife. She called Daniel out. Like I was Brooks. Like I'm not gonna lie to you. Everybody called me Brooks. Like that was my alter ego. That was the person who I presented to the world. That was the person that I was in relationships as. Like I was Brooks. I met my wife. She called Daniel out, right? And I didn't know who Daniel was, because Daniel hadn't been cultivated to be brave enough to be himself, right? And I think that's what happens sometimes when you have your mom in your life, is that she teaches you to be brave and be okay with being who you are, with how you treat a woman and how you respond to a woman, and what that's supposed to look like. So it wasn't until I was mid to late 20s that I was like, okay, now I can really be the sensitive person that I am. Now I can really do everything, because at the same time, a lot of women I talk to, I would try to do those things and everything. I was whack. Right. I would try to open up doors. I would try to call them every day
until you comfortable with yourself. I'm gonna do this regardless. I'm gonna spin the block real quick, because I think, and it may void out anything that I said, but I think that some of that too comes from a father supposed to teach that. And so I think that what we all have in common is that absence of father. So I think, as I'm sitting here thinking about what you're saying, it's like a man is supposed to teach you how to respect a woman. You know what I'm saying? Like a woman can't. I've heard so many people say a woman can't raise a man. Like a woman, there's certain things about becoming a man that a woman just cannot teach. I'm not taking nothing away from a woman, but there's certain things that you need a man to do. And so I think a woman is good at showing you what a woman is supposed to be like, and giving you those desirable qualities that you look for in a woman. But a man is definitely supposed to walk along you and tell you, like, no, don't talk to her like that, bro. Stand on the other side of the street when you're walking with her. Like, make sure you know what I'm saying, cover her up when she get out the car if it's raining, or make sure you open the door. Ladies always first, serve her, whatever. So I think that's why parenting, having both parents in the house.
I feel like it goes hand in hand. You need both.
Yeah, you need both in the house to be.
I wouldn't say parents just in general, male and female, like your mom dating the right person in front of you if your father is not there.
What?
Just from personal experience, I don't agree.
About them being both?
About it just being a requirement to have both.
No.
That's why I didn't say a requirement, but you know what I'm saying? It's a good thing to have to see your mom dating the right woman.
I'm not saying it's a requirement. I'm saying if it's there, then it's good. It can be good. Hopefully, if both of them are like equally yoked, if both parents are on the same page, then it's gonna be good. But if there's an absence of father, then there's, with a son at least, there's an absence of father. The boy growing up is going to miss out on some qualities that he should learn about how to present himself if the man is who he's supposed to be. Right. If there's an absence of mother, I don't know what that is, but if there's an absence of mother, I'm guessing that there's some qualities that the man is going to miss out.
And at the same time, I remember when mom did get out of prison, and I was I'll never forget when she got out and it was like a weight was lifted, right? Like I felt like even though we still had to work on that mother-son relationship, I felt like I didn't have to chase a woman to validate me anymore. Like I had this idea. I saw all my friends with moms and throughout their childhood. So I remember being like, when I get my mom, I'm gonna. And I remember her coming out, getting out, and I just remember like this weight lifted. Like I'm okay now. Like I remember like telling ladies I may have been talking to at the time, yo, I'm good. My mama home now. You know what I'm saying? Because they honestly, I've been waiting for that. But going back to the father issue, I also saw my dad talking to a bunch of women. When I did, like the few times he, was able to come get me growing up when I was a teenager and all that stuff, I remember seeing a different lady every time. So I'm totally confused. You know what I'm saying? I go from my grandparents and not to take away from my grandparents. Grandparents were a huge influence, but they were from a different era. So they were just, I'm going to work. This is how I show I love you. We're going to, coexist together in this house. So it's a little bit different. We never talked about relationships, right? So my dad, when I went, I just remember every time I would see a different lady, and I'm like, is this how it's supposed to be? And I remember being, and I'll never forget, and we thinking out loud, I remember being, I think I was 13, and I was starting to get pimples, right? And I went to go be with my dad for that weekend, and we're at the apartment, and he says, boy, you getting them bumps. Right? And I was like, what you talking about? He said, them sex bumps. I said, what you talking about? He said, you need to, start to have sex. Right. And I'm like, yo, wait a minute. And I remember in the moment not thinking like that was supposed to be how I have the sex conversation, but that was the sex conversation for me, was you got these pimples, sex will fix that. And I remember my dad saying, you want me to hook you up with somebody? Right. And I'm like, yo, and I just now, in hindsight, looking at that was my first idea of what sex was for and what a woman, unfortunately, even though I had to discern how it was for myself, and I did, but that was what I was taught, that, pimples, you have sex. Right? So it has so much of an influence about who's in your life and who you bring into, who influences your life, man and woman, man. Y'all, that's.
Well, yeah, that was not my. I didn't get a sex talk.
Yeah.
I didn't get a sex talk.
I got a sex talk from my uncle.
That was
I didn't get a talk. Mine was
so awkward.
Mine was get them bumps.
Yeah, I didn't get.
You didn't get a sex talk?
Mine was very much like just don't do it.
Don't we got a guest here today that might be able
got a guest here today.
Might be able to have that talk with you today.
Yeah, she might remember it a little bit more.
But I was very much like, I was a little sneaky, but my uncles, I remember my uncles would come in and that boy having sex, and my mom just did not want to accept that. I remember that. Like I would specifically remember that. Like, and I would, but you just don't have, like, I had a stepdad for a little while, but it just wasn't that relationship. It took me years to get that relationship with him. By the time I got it, he was gone.
So that's exactly what I meant earlier when I was saying I don't agree with that, because sometimes that stepdad situation just is not, it's just not giving you the fundamentals that you would think you would get. Because I know that was the same situation with my stepdad. It was just kind of like, he taught me how to play video games. I remember clearly watching him work out every day. But you ask me any other values, I honestly couldn't tell you.
And I think that's because we get so like this on mom that we don't, even as little boys, like, we want that, but we don't want that. We want it, but we want it from a specific person. We know who we want it from. And it just takes us a long time to be able to detach and understand that this person is actually trying to instill something in us. And by the time they do, and we let our guards down as young men, because I think that's the first experience of like vulnerability that you have, of transparency that you have when start realizing, do I call him dad? Like, I like him.
Yeah.
Like, I know you remember that. Like, do I call him dad? Like, I like him now. But by that time, he already backed out.
A handful of times, dad actually came out my mouth. It was just first name the whole time. But then moved down the line and with my grandparents, anytime I get in trouble, it's not a talk with my grandma. I know I got to talk with my granddad coming. And it's like, that's a whole nother, you know what I'm saying? That's what I don't want, you know? So it's like.
That's real.
I only got whooped.
Think we got a guess?
Somebody knocking at the
door. Gotta knock at the door, knock.
At the door. I was gonna save that comment for later. Come on in.
Is the door?
There it goes.
Oh, there it goes.
Oh,
here we go. Introduce
who is that?
Thank you.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Got a little morning cooking this morning.
Come on.
Oh yeah, come on in. Whatever you want.
Cooking out loud. Come on in.
Scoot that over a little bit.
There we go. Bring that one up.
Good morning to Bron.
Good morning.
So in this Women's Month, we want to celebrate our first guest.
All
Ax,
right,
would you
now.
like to do the introduction?
Yeah, you could use that mic. Use this one. There we go.
All right.
There we go.
There we go.
I am in the house now.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to Thinkin Out Loud.
Thinking out loud.
Definitely gotta shout her out, Mama Donna. You at the wrong Mama Donna. This is my beautiful mother. Of 36 years old. Y'all can see the youth.
That's right.
But yeah, this is the one. This is the queen. This is the Mama B. This is the everything. So anything that comes out of me is definitely just a funnel from her.
Wow.
Excellent.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Questions.
Yeah, so to start off, I'd like to know what's under that amazing plate right
What's
there.
under this pot here?
Let us break bread together.
You can break bread together.
Let's go.
So this morning, it's not breakfast,
Okay.
but what I have for you is a meal all in one. That's hot. No crab cakes, no meat.
Cameraman, are you able to zoom in on this?
Ooh. Let's go.
So what we have here is, do all of you like mushrooms, first of all?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So, and I actually have 4 of them, and Tabron is here, so I have one for each of you plus Tabron. So, I know Tabron, that was supposed to be mine to eat with them, but I'm going to share it with you. I'm going to give it to you.
Cameraman don't get no love. Yeah.
So what we have is a portobello mushroom at the bottom, and it's a portobello mushroom cap. It's stuffed with, this is quinoa, which is a low carb grain, really good healthy grain. And then it's surrounded by a mix of summer squash, zucchini, onions, and spinach.
Goodness gracious.
With a nice balsamic glaze over the top that I made myself.
Wow, that is amazing.
So there we go. There you have it.
So, is this how X has been eating his whole life growing up?
X has been eating pretty good his whole life.
That's what it is. Look, now it makes sense. That makes sense.
I expect greatness for food.
That boy eats.
That's where that thickness comes from.
What thickness? No, I expect greatness with food.
Let me grab
It's
this.
hot.
I got you.
So the inspiration behind this is it's no meat because I don't eat any meat. I use the portobello as my protein. So that mushroom under the bottom has about, depending on how big your cap is, it's about 7 to 10 grams of protein by itself. The quinoa, one serving, which each one of these scoops is about a serving, is anywhere from 5 to 7. So right there, you got about 15 grams of protein right there in front of you. And then, of course, your veggies.
Meat.
And no meat.
Isn't that such
that's
a
amazing.
myth that they say you gotta eat meat?
No, it is a myth. It is a myth.
Yeah.
But I get my protein. I'm obviously I'm healthy. I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
But I get my protein from veggies. I get it from things like quinoa. But I do eat a lot of mushrooms. I don't do a lot of beans because of the carbs in the beans. But they do have a lot of protein in it. Some fishes, of course, fish, your salmon, your shrimp, things like that. But I get most of my protein from things like that are just freshly grown veggies.
Wow.
You know.
Amazing.
So, and it's a light. You can eat it for breakfast, lunch. You can just grab this little scoop right there, and that's a whole meal.
Let's grab that scoop.
Yeah, let's grab that scoop.
Yeah, let's
there you go.
Service going.
Got one of those for each one of you.
Thank you.
I think Mr. Doug has some questions for you.
Okay.
Look, I'm so stuck on the food right now. I'm just amazed. But let me actually eat. I am. That's the best way to start a morning off. And let me ask you, Miss Donna.
Well, let me tell you this first.
Okay.
My baby get the first bite.
That goes into
What does it go into?
Yeah.
It goes into what you expect.
Yeah.
Not even so much what you expect, but what you've seen.
Yeah.
What you've seen and what you've seen kind of raises you into the woman that what you want from a woman or what you
That's some high standards.
what you desire.
That's some high standards.
I'll let y'all go ahead and talk while I eat.
My wife told me first.
She set the bar. She set the bar high with her.
I love it.
Uh-oh.
So I was gonna ask, how is it being a boy mom?
Actually, it's been absolutely wonderful, Doug. I wouldn't have it any other way. I wasn't, growing up, of course, I wasn't a real, prissy, girly girl. So for me to have had a boy and raise a boy, absolutely wonderful. There were some challenges.
Correct.
There were some challenges being a single mom and raising a boy and trying to, as they say, raise a boy into a man.
Yeah.
I'm not a man.
Yeah.
I don't know all the things that a man, you know what you want them to do and what they should do, but I don't know all the aspects of being of a man. So at times it was extremely hard. I had my dad there for a season, and then my dad passed away. My brothers were not here all the time. And we had some other people around that were men that were inspirations in Xavier's life, but for the most part, it was on me.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times I was asking men, what should I do? I would call great friends of mine, like one of X's mentors is Jay, and I would call Jay, what do I do? What do I say? How do I do this? Because I did not know how to do it effectively so that he still could come out and, be mature and be, and run as a young man. There were some serious challenges.
So what were some of the, just you as a woman, as a mom, what were just those things that you just knew you wanted to instill in him, even without a man or necessarily saying, I got to teach him how to be a man. Well, what were those things you just remember, like, he's going to at least know this?
He's going to know, without a shadow of a doubt, who he is.
Yeah.
He's going to love himself.
Yeah.
He is going to respect. He's going to have the utmost respect, not just for people, but for women, for women and authority. I just believe you can't get anywhere in life without respect and authority. Wow. And especially when it comes to a man to a woman, you have to have that respect. But I wanted Xavier to be confident in who he was. It may have just been me and him. We may have struggled at times. He didn't have a father at times, or his father, whatever the case was. I wanted him to know, regardless, he could be confident in who he was, in his shoes, regardless of who was around and who wasn't around. He had to love himself. And then the other part was, of course, I really wanted him, the spiritual side of it, I wanted him to always depend on God. Mom can tell him things and tell him what to do, and grandma and everybody can tell him, and advise him. But I need him to have that relationship, that spiritual relationship with God, so that he knew at any given time, he knew where his source was. Wow. So those three things, between those, he knew where to go, he knew who he was, he was confident in who he was. Wow. And so he could walk out, and then he could also be a light to somebody else and help others. And that was just my push all the time for Xavier.
And you were young when you had.
I was very young. I was in my first year of college, actually. Wow. Yeah, and he I don't know where he came from. I mean, he was
still trying to figure it out.
I'm still trying to figure it out.
That's it.
Went to the beach on break and came back.
That's a whole big head baby.
Big head baby.
I may be wrong, but I believe, were y'all in the Guinness Book of Records during that year?
Who?
I heard Roanoke, Virginia, had the most babies or something during that year.
I don't know, Doug. We probably did.
Yeah, it was just a random fact I found once. I was like, that's crazy.
So with being so young, getting through those challenges as a single mom, as a young woman, what were just some things just as a woman that you just would instill with any other, want to tell any other woman who may be struggling with that or how you even survived it?
I'll tell you, one of the biggest things is you have to own it.
Wow.
You have to own it. For me, when I came out and was pregnant, I was the first one in my home to leave and go away to college. So I was so embarrassed. I was hurt. I knew my parents were hurt, but I didn't own it at first. And so you have to be accountable for it, own it, so that you can love this child, so that you can really groom this child and embrace what you know you need to put into this child. But that's the very first step, is you have to own it. Once it's done, it's done.
Yeah.
So it's okay. Be proud of what it is. Own it. Walk in it and be ready to just raise this child. And you cannot be afraid to ask for help.
Wow.
I don't care who the help is. Of course I had my parents there, but I was already, hurt because I felt like I had hurt my parents. So I felt like I had let my parents down in some sense. So a lot of times I wouldn't go to them. And I wouldn't go to other people because I was still ashamed that here I was, and I was this bright girl coming out of school and I'm gone off to college, and what happens? I get pregnant. And it was like, that wasn't the expectation for me. But for young girls, I tell them all the time now, and I'll continue to tell them, it's okay, things happen.
Right.
We can get through this. And the sooner that you get through, the sooner that you own it and you walk in it and you're proud of it, trust me, all the worry, all the stress just wipes away.
Wow.
And you can be happy, and you can raise a happy child. If you're happy, your child's going to be happy. Trust me. You figure it out.
Wow.
You figure it out.
Wow.
But get help. It's okay to ask people. Help me. Guide me. Show me. Teach me. Help me learn how to parent. I was fortunate because my mom, of course, knew how to parent. It was 5 of us. But she also taught parenting classes and all that good stuff. So I was fortunate to have that right there to help me. But it's so many girls now, they don't have that.
Right.
So another thing for me is we, as young mothers, once we do make it, we have to be willing to go back and give back to these young ones. Pull them in, help them, teach them. I'm starting parenting classes now to teach other young ones how to parent.
Wow. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. Now, I want you, if you can grab the mic, X, is, my mom wasn't, and we talked about this, and to Brian the same way, our moms weren't in our lives, growing up. So just seeing this camaraderie, this relationship has always, I wouldn't say I envied it, but I always appreciated it, right? So seeing that, so tell me how it was, growing up with your mom, or having I don't even want to say growing up, how is it having your mom now? Like how is that, you grew up with her, and now that relationship, I guess, has shifted a little bit. How is that now?
Yeah, I think, I don't want to just be quick to answer, I want to actually think it out, but I think, as you're growing up, any kid, I think any kid, he ain't said a word.
Because
I think growing up, any kid has those moments where they dislike, or they feel like this ain't it. Like everybody else get to do this, everybody else get to do this, and then I think to answer your question, as you get older, the appreciation is just skyrockets. Like, I remember conversations when I was, 18, 19, and my mom, hit me like, yo, stop cussing on Facebook. It's gonna come back and haunt you.
Yeah. And
we talk about that now, we laugh, and I'm like, yo, like, I got all of these things that are happening to me is because I listened. I didn't want to. It might have taken her 3 or 4 times to tell me like, yo, take that stuff off Facebook. Stop posting these videos. Clean it up, because
I want to find those videos.
Yeah, honestly, and it was just a time in my life where we all had those times in our life. We was away. I knew everything. I wanted to be this. I wanted to be that. I didn't have anybody specifically guiding me, saying this is the way to go. So I was just trying to figure it out myself as a young man. But I think now, I constantly say this 30 things. I'm new to this 30 thing. You've been there for a while. You've been there for a while.
Living, bro.
I just got here.
This 30 thing has allowed me to, one, come into my own and take everything and just hone it into one thing. So I would say that right now I'm at an all-time high to know that I have somebody there to constantly lean back on spiritually, constantly lean back on, that knows me to my core, to help me. Hey, look, you know, I get my discernment from my mother because of her prayers. She gets it from her mother. So I make sure I have it when I'm seeking a woman or I'm, you know, talking to people or going into business deals and things like that. It's that wisdom. I think that's what I most appreciate, is that wisdom of somebody that's already done what I'm trying to do, already kind of lived a life before me and has set me up to the best of their ability to make sure that my life doesn't have to go through the same ups and downs that theirs did. Wow. So I think, you know, honestly speaking, it's just like it's absolutely beautiful to know that relationship is there, and to be able to sit in the same room, like, you know, like you said, you don't have that ability. Like I wouldn't know what it. I can't imagine what that would feel like. I was with my best friend Eric. Shout out to Lou. I was with him the entire time that his mom went through cancer, and I watched him lose his mother. And for a 19-year-old boy, he was like me. I was there every single day, watching him lose his mother. And you know, he always tells me, bro, like, this is an unexplainable feeling to lose the person that made you, like the person that birthed you, and to not have that no more. It's conversations that he wants to have that he can't have. There's things he wants to show. He has a daughter now. There's things he wants to show that he can't show. So, I mean, I'll use this time honestly right now just to say I appreciate you more than words. I love you more than words can imagine, because everything I am is because of you, your sacrifices, your dedication, your will to make sure that I am. You know, that confidence, that all of that stuff. Like everything I am right now, I can look back and it's like, yo, she taught me that. Yo, she taught me that. She taught me that I didn't want to learn this, but I figured it out. All of those. So I hope that wraps up. You know what I'm saying? What you're saying.
Absolutely.
Get the applause.
Doug, take a stop. Was it good, Doug? Tell me about the food, brother.
10 out of 10. When Mama Donna's opens up, I will be there for lunch every day.
Every day. Doug couldn't maestro no more. Food was good.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Doug said no word.
I didn't even know I was that hungry, so I started eating.
You might get
honestly though, if they had more food like this, we wouldn't need meat. You know, everybody needs meat. Like,
making it taste good.
Yeah, the vegan spots are starting to come around now too. Yeah, I'm all for it.
So speaking about that, Mama Donna, can you speak on your
endeavors,
your where you are? That's why we're here. You know,
plug.
So yeah, what I have, some things I have coming up.
Yes.
I'm working on. I don't want to, give you too much.
Just a little bit.
I'll give you a little bit.
Yeah.
So one thing that I'm really passionate about, of course, I love cooking and feeding and helping. But one thing I'm really passionate about is young girls. And of course, because of my situation where I was when I had Xavier, is young pregnant women or young girls with kids. And so I had been working with a young lady for several years, and took her to the grocery store, and we were in the grocery store, and she got her stuff, and we got to the line, and the lady said, "You have this meat, and the meat is buy one get one free. You only have one." And she said, "That's all I need." And it was a pack of hamburger, and it was almost $6 a pack.
She didn't understand.
And the lady says, "But it's buy one get one free." And she said, "I don't need another one." And so I was right there, and I was trying to explain to her, why you have the other one. I said, "Well, I'll run back and get the other one. We'll get it. You'll get it, and you just put it in the freezer. And then the next time you make spaghetti or whatever it was, you'll have it." She said, "Miss Donna, I really don't need it." And I said, "It's okay, we'll talk about it." So I went and got it, and so I'm walking back there to get the hamburger. It was like, literally my heart was just broken. And all I could think about was, wow, she doesn't understand, that not only does she get the second one free, she can have it for the next time. It's already there.
All she can think about is now.
All she could think about was, this is all I need right now. And I thought, if that's the case with a pack of hamburger, what more is it with her life? And so at that point, literally, the next day, I was sitting in my office and I thought, she needs some serious parenting. It's more than just for me, it was more than just being a help or a mentor for her. She needs parenting. And so I began doing some research on how I could become a certified parent teacher. Of course, I called my mom because my mom did it for 37 some odd years.
Really?
Mom went into her archives and pulled out old books and papers.
Your mama,
you know,
super mama.
she like her super mama.
I love it.
She is, and she literally, my mom and another lady actually started parenting classes here in Roanoke. So she pulled out old notebooks with papers that she actually started and that she wrote the curriculum for. There was no curriculum for parenting classes.
That makes sense.
There is no Bible
that
for
makes
parenting
sense.
classes.
Yeah, there is no.
So they made that up, and she brought those up to me, up to the cafe, to my office, and I started going through, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is wild. And so from there, I went and signed up some things. So what's to come is Mama Donna is going to be doing parenting classes and support for girls.
Donna, I can't wait to support. I can't. I speak on behalf of everybody. Can't thank you enough for coming in.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you all for having me.
Absolutely.
You have been a consistent watcher and supporter of TOL for the longest, and you've grown with us. So having you on as the first guest of this season, we couldn't have thought anybody else started it. So we appreciate you. And
let me say something real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm honored. Thank you.
I do want to say, with everything that you just said, I think another piece of the appreciation is being able to take everything that, for her, encouraging me and pushing me to the limit with my sports or anything I was involved in as a kid growing up, me being able to turn back around and challenge and encourage her, do it, you can do it, like there's no fear. That same fear, that same fearlessness that she instilled in me as a kid growing up, I get to go through a bunch of stuff, understand it, and then hone it and turn it right back. It's like, yo, no, you got it. Like, we got to do this. Like, you have to do this. Like, you have it in you. This is what you're meant for. So I think that's a beautiful thing too. So I would just say to anybody that if you have that, whether it's mom, dad, auntie, whoever raised you, whatever you're instilled with and you're confident in now, make sure that they have that too.
That's right.
Push it right back to them.
Yes.
And that's the goal. That you saying that's the goal with my mom, because my mom's out of prison now. She's been out for some years now, so it's been those growing pains of trying to support her the best way I can, but at the same time recognizing like I'm just now getting my feet up on it. Right. So how do I go back and get there? So I touch in, I do what I can, and I'm definitely hearing that. I'm going to encourage her even more to I can't quote unquote parent you. Which she doesn't expect me to do, but once you get to where then
I'm all the way behind you.
All the way there. So I appreciate you.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you all too. Thank you. I appreciate my boys always supporting me.
That's right.
That's my biggest fan. So
and happy Women's Month again.
Thank you. Thank you, Doug.
That was a good one.
So we just wrapped up with Mama Donna. Amazing session. How did y'all feel about that?
It was dope. It's really cool to see, what. It's really cool just to see what, the influence a parent and a mom can have, because, we see a successful situation with his mom, ex's mom being in his life, and we see other countless, with LeBron James and his mom, and that was it. We see countless situations of these single moms making it happen, but I definitely think it's important that we uplift our women and the strength that they have and all that they're doing and able to do. And I just think it's important as us as men is to do our part to support them, number one, but also do our part to try to bring back the sense of raising children together, right? And having those parts, because all of us have different experiences. And that's what I want to say earlier is it's all about your perspective, right? So I may talk about this stuff or say things, and my mom could think it was a different way, or my dad could think, but your perspective is your reality. So how you look at it and how you perceive things. So I challenge you guys to to check your perspective and you know, believe in it and see, you know, where it takes you.
Absolutely. I think, I mean, I cherish that. I cherish that what just happened. I mean, honestly, I cherish just the conversation, like you said, the perspective, the ability to be able to, I mean, even the fact that this joint is recorded, like, yeah, I can always go back and look at this and just you know, get that understanding and get that.
I like that.
I mean, shout out to, you know, modern day technology to be able to even do this stuff. So it's nothing like it. It definitely, you know, pushes me, you know, to know that somebody, you know, sacrificed to make sure that I'm well and I'm good. And so the food was good. The conversation was good.
That's it.
Yeah, I think it's happy Women's Month. Happy Women's Month. Like this is special. I would love to, you know, just get my grandmother's perspective and, like you said, that perspective of just a woman. Yeah. And how their lens, what they view from their lens, and it's been good. It's been good. I appreciate her being able to join on the show.
You popped it off right.
The food was good. The food was good.
Yeah, this was a good way to pop off this new season.
Good way to pop off the new season. Just kind of wrapping up Women's Month. Everybody out there, y'all should just think of about maybe 5 women in y'all life and just tell them how much they mean to y'all. You know, it really doesn't take that much time, and I guarantee it would impact them in a beneficial way.
Yeah, good. And just last opportunity to plug everything. Check me out. Good Counsel LLC. We are goodcounsel.com, motivatethegame.com. We're doing all things mental health and innovating mental health. Go ahead.
Strokesofgeniustutoring.com. We now have ESL classes opening up on Mondays, 3:30 to 5:30 p.m. We had an amazing class last Monday, and we're going to keep it going. Also, stay tuned for the weekends because we have stuff for middle school and elementary students as well.
Absolutely. Y'all know who I am, Xavier Tremaine. Find me on Instagram at Xavier Tremaine. You can find anything that I'm doing on my profile. Serial entrepreneur, social entrepreneur, creative, consultant, catalyst, connector. I got everything you need. I'm the plug. So come and find me.
I appreciate you.
He came on there like a rapper. You know what it is.
You know what it is.
You know what it is. No. Check us out. Appreciate you, Mr. Jump, the man behind the lens.
Absolutely.
Yeah, one more time. Shout out to Jump, man. I feel like, bro, you're going to be a nice piece of the thing, man.
That's it. Appreciate y'all. Peace.
Peace.